Strike. No one's saving those.
Football Exclusive very kindly went down to film Troy going about his business. So let's take a quick look at that, shall we?
I've been here for the last 5 years. I've grown as a player. I've enjoyed Troy being a manager, developed me as a player, and overall I'm a more all-rounded player now.
So I think it's my 5th year now. Developed me from like 11, from 10 to a young age. Learn how to move the ball technically, like, grow up with teammates and like, treat it as a family now.
I just love watching that. I'm sorry, I know it's about me, but it's just...
Brilliant video.
The stuff that Football Exclusive have been absolutely fantastic. They came down, they filmed us, and they just, you know, what we want to do is just try and promote what goes on at grassroots level. And I think I've got two great guys who do so much at that level as well, that we're going to open up our first discussion on grassroots. And it's great because we've spoken about the top end of the game, we've spoken about developing part of the game, the women's part of the game. Let's get down to the roots of it. Grassroots football. Paul, where is it? Where are we at the moment with producing young players?
Well, the state of first teams and senior level tells you that we're not producing enough. But for a fact, there are rough diamonds. If people are prepared to actually go and look, there's absolutely no dispute in that. You see them every Sunday morning. Every Sunday morning you see players who are of a very good talent, of a good standard. It's just about actually going out and looking at these players and taking time and giving them the opportunity to grow and enjoy their football. First and foremost, it's about playing with a smile on your face. I think there's a lot of football at grassroots level where there's an expectation and there's a pressure on these young kids' shoulders. You know, you've got to be the next best this and you've got to be the next best that. Instead of first and foremost, put a smile on their face. Like some of them kids that you had, that you were coaching there, and enjoying their football.
Well, this is brilliant because Cracks, your son, is how old?
10 now. 10, yeah.
What a beautiful age. I remember when I was 10.
No, you don't.
I mean, Paul spoke about smiling when you play football, and that's all I ever did when I played. I smiled because we love the game. Is that the same now, Cracks? Is that? I mean, you're at a great club, and you might be a little bit different, but is that's what's happening at Colbrook Royals?
Yeah, they are a fantastic club, and they're a standard chartered club. The facilities, the Grange in Chigwell, are magnificent for that level. And that's the problem. That's the only one I know of with that sort of facilities, because we'll go to away games and we end up just on a wreck or in a park with just a pitch that's marked out, and it's just not good enough. You know, it's the amount of money that comes into the game. What we've got at Colbrook Royals at the Grange, there should be one of those every 10 miles. Kids should be playing at that sort of facility all over the country, and that's just not happening enough. So that's, you know, if you can put kids into a really great facility like that with great level pitches, you can learn your skills, you can learn your short passing game, and because some of these kids are playing on pitches you just can't play that sort of game on. So
I mean, with my young man, Andros, he was at Ridgeway Rovers, so I know his competitors are Colbrook Royals, and it's what we instilled in him was to just make sure that he went and enjoyed it. As far as I'm concerned, plucked too early. 8, 9, you know, I'm not quite sure I'm an advocate of that, but his whole team kind of broke up and went into Tottenham and went to a few other clubs. Are we missing a trick here, Paul, in terms of plucking the young lads and stopping their enjoyment of the game too early? Or are they going into the system to get the right kind of coaching?
Well, again, you played as a kid, I played as a kid. It didn't do us any harm to play. I didn't play 11-a-side football till I was 14.
Goodness
I played
me.
5-a-side football all the way up there. And that developed my skill, my ability, my understanding of space, my touch on the ball, my ability to pass, all of that. I went on and played professional football, having played, you know, having not played 11-a-side.
So you would advocate futsal?
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Because it teaches you, first of all, it puts a smile on your face.
Yeah.
First of all. And secondly, it teaches you all the basics, but pressure-free.
Right,
because when
okay.
you go into academies, and I coached in academies, and I used to watch the young under 10s, and there was, at 9 years old, these young boys have pressure on their shoulders. They're not actually enjoying it. They're like mini businessmen, literally.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
true. Little adults.
You just want, yeah, exactly, because they're having to deal with and accept pressure from the sidelines, the pressure of winning, instead of, you know, what we should be teaching players is to enjoy football and have a relationship with the ball, and just to be able to relax. But
I love that word, relationship with the ball.
I like it. It
It's
is a
good.
phrase. though,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah, it is. It is. I mean, Cracks at Colbert Rolls, what kind of gravitated you to take your boy and for him to be a part of what they're developing at that club?
Well, firstly, his coach is a lad I work with, Paul Burgess, and he's fantastic. There's no shouting at the boys.
Oh, good.
You know, if he needs to speak to him, he'll crouch down and he'll talk to them. And there's no pressure at all. If you want to try a turn on the edge of the box to try a skill, you give the ball away and lose the game 1-0, don't care. And I don't care, because I want to see the boys trying things. Because some of the parents, you know, you speak to parents of other clubs and say, oh, if we win this game, we'll go second in the league. I don't want to know about leagues at 10 years old. I say to some of the other parents, if I could get rid of goals, I would.
Yeah.
Literally, you know, to stop this winning at all cost mentality.
I like that.
That's, you know, that's the way I see it. And I always say to him, go and enjoy yourself before he goes onto the pitch. And when he comes off at the end of the game, did you enjoy it?
Oh, I love that.
Being a parent, so we're going to talk about parents, unfortunately. How much pressure do parents put on their young children, boys, girls, whatever, and how much of it do they actually live the game themselves? So are they living the game themselves? Paul, as a coach at your level.
I'll tell you this. I often ask parents, and I often ask, you know, when we get them together, for the players, what is on a match day? What is the most emotional part of that day? And the parents will talk about the game and all that business. It's the ride home.
Oh.
It's the ride home.
Fantastic.
Because they know, the players know if they've not played well, and as a player, they know whether they've played well or not.
Oh, what a shame.
But on the trip home is where, for some, the torture starts.
Yeah,
That's really
that's right.
sad.
And I know young pros that have had that where, you know, they're frightened to get in the car on the way home.
That's not right,
because
is it?
they know what's coming. And for me, that's, and I'm talking about academy football that I've coached and young pros who enjoy the game, but as soon as it finishes, they've got to hope they played well. And for them, it's not about them feeling they've played well; it's about them being told they've played well. And it's, you know, it used to leave them with a heavy heart.
Oh, it would.
You know, and what I used to do was, it taught me how to deal with parents, because what I used to do was pull all the parents in.
Do you have a word?
I'd pull all the parents in and we'd talk about roles. You know, what is your role? We as coaches are qualified and are paid to deal with the negatives. And we put it in a way that challenges the players.
Yeah.
Your job is to listen to what they've got to say, okay, and give them confidence.
That's so
what your
lovely.
role is.
Brilliant.
That's a
Brilliant.
lovely balance.
And that's how it should be.
The philosophy I have at my club is I want the relationship with the players. I don't want it with the parents.
Well, I like that.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, they're the ones that have to listen to me. They're the ones that have to take on board the information. And I just think that you're going to get a better relationship with the you know, the individual that you're working with or the team that you're working with that way. Is that what's happening at Colbert Royals, Cracks? Is that what you see developing at Colbert Royals?
Yeah, with the boys are very much a real band of brothers. And it's lovely to see there's a real good family feel amongst just the boys themselves, you know, and it's actually the diversity of the team as well, because you know, there's 2 or 3 English boys in there, Asian lads who traditionally have just, you know, not taken to football at all, West Indian, African, so there's a real good blend. The parents all get on as well. We're told encouragement, but you know, if the manager of the team is any of this, like drop back, left back, get out, after the game you'll be pulled aside and told that's not your role. You're there to encourage.
Very quickly, because we're wrapping up, there has been a number of players risen from the non-league game into the Premier League, the Football League, and made it as international. Is that transition going to keep happening? Are we developing enough players to be able to do that?
I don't think you're going to find many players come from non-league to go and play international football now. If you think about a young player coming up through the non-league, to get to the international level, they'll have to be playing for one of the top teams. Players that have gone through the system don't play for their top team. They've got a lot of foreign players, a lot of other players to come past. It's going to be very, very difficult. I'd like to see it, but it's going to be very difficult.
Strike, no one's saving those.